Day 2. Thank you so much for all the suggestions you guys gave, both of punishments and of topics to discuss. I started researching all the ones that I didn't already know a bunch about enough to do a video. And I found a lot of mentions of this person's a psychopath, this person's a sociopath. But the fact of the matter is that I don't know the difference between them. And by the way they were writing them, it seemed like these people who were doing these stories, these articles online, didn't really understand what the heck they were talking about either. So I thought a good place to start was talking about the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath. Psychopaths and sociopaths share a lot of similarities, including the fact that they're both personality disorders. Some of the other ones they share: a general disregard for the rights of others, laws, and social mores. If you don't know what social mores are, that's basically like society's norms. They also show a failure to feel remorse or guilt, and a tendency to display violent behavior and emotional outbursts. However, the general thought of sociopaths is that they tend to be easily agitated and nervous, uneducated. They kind of float on like the outskirts of society. They're not really capable of like holding down a job, and if they do form attachments to other people, it's either to like one individual or one specific group of people, but they basically don't care about anybody else. For anyone to see a sociopath, they would generally like look on that person as being clearly disturbed. They're not really capable of hiding it. And if a sociopath does commit a crime, although they are not thought to be the more, violent crime committing of those two personality disorders, then that crime will be disorganized and probably spontaneous, like not really well thought out. A sociopath committing a crime, everyone would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that guy was always weird. For instance, the vampire of Sacramento. He was an incredibly weird guy who'd been mutilating tiny little animals since forever. So when everyone was like, do you know of anyone in this area who might be killing? Everyone was like, that guy's house right there. It's him. I can tell you that right now. That's a sociopath. Looks weird. Everyone knows he's weird, but they don't know the extent of it until they find out all the facts. Whereas psychopaths are the ones that have like a really, really charming personality and can mimic the idea of like having those emotions that they are incapable of feeling. They're really good at manipulating and gaining people's trust. For instance, a lot of con men who are like really good at getting the money from a lot of people. Generally speaking, these guys perfectly profile as psychopaths. Because these guys can mimic the emotions, although they can't actually feel them, they are thought to look more normal, whereas sociopaths look weird. These guys look normal and even like are the life of the party. They're thought to be more educated and smarter and capable of holding down a job in a way that would make most people think, oh, that person can't possibly be a killer. In fact, that's actually what happened with Ted Bundy. He was actually turned in by friends and family several times over the course of his killing. And because he was a young lawyer who was helping out with the Republican Party and on the rise, and he was like this bright shining star, and everyone's like, no, this is an upward mobile guy. I don't know what beef you have with him, but I don't actually think he's doing anything. Meanwhile, he was out there killing woman after woman after woman. He's literally almost a genius. Like, if this guy wasn't killing people, he probably could have been in Mensa. And it is because of the fact that they're so smart and so capable of looking perfectly normal, upward mobile. Psychopath would be the one who everyone's saying, wait a second, I can't believe that he's the one who did it. He was an amazing guy. He's always at church. He's helping out the PTA. He's got an amazing family and kids. Those are the really, really smart guys who are so incredibly good at mimicking emotions, mimicking, this love for people when they are completely incapable of feeling any of it. That's why when people come out and they say, oh, my husband's a serial killer and I had no idea, that's not their fault. It is this person's base instinct is to fool you. What gives most people away when they're trying to lie is this sense of guilt. Oh, I shouldn't be lying to you, except the simple fact that these people don't have guilt. So they can lie without any sort of a tell, any sort of an indication at all that they're lying. It's literally just, I'm doing it because I want to, and there's nothing that's gonna stop me. They're very good at manipulation, they're very good at mimicry, and they have nothing inside them that tells them to stop. So that's the guy, when he's finally caught, everyone goes, I cannot believe it was him or her. Because a girl can have a personality disorder just as easily as a guy can. If a psychopath commits a crime, and they are more likely to commit crimes than sociopaths, it will be very, very detailed, incredibly planned out, and they'll have a contingency plan for their contingency plans to make sure that this goes off exactly the way they've been fantasizing about it. To some psychologists, the definition between them has more to do with how it started than how it actually manifests itself. Those psychologists think that psychopaths actually had something wrong with their brain. They think that during the process of them growing in the womb, for some reason there was an underdevelopment of the part of the brain that controls impulse control and emotions, and somehow that just didn't develop right, or at all. Whereas I think that sociopaths are more of a product of some sort of childhood trauma or abuse, which is why they think that sociopaths are capable of attaching themselves to a specific individual or a group of people because they are capable of empathy. And because they can attach to a person or people, they would actually feel guilty if they were to hurt one of those people in that group. Whereas a psychopath would have absolutely no attachment to anyone, is completely incapable of love or empathy or any sort of impulse control, and they would be just as likely to hurt a member of their family as they would a random stranger on the street. And so there are other psychiatrists who see all those distinctions but don't even think there is such a thing as a sociopath. They think that there are primary psychopaths and secondary psychopaths. However, the word psychopath was created by psychologists and the word sociopath was created by sociologists. So they could be right, I guess. So now that my head is completely in a tizzy, which definition do you guys think that we should follow as we move forward in this month? Do you think that one, psychopaths and sociopaths are the exact same thing, except they're just, you know, depends on who's calling the shots, a psychiatrist or a sociologist? Or two, do you think that a psychopath and a sociopath are the exact same thing, except that a psychopath is really, really smart and that's why they do the things that they do, and a sociopath are, you know, a little bit slower, not as smart as the psychopaths, and that's why they do the things they do? Or three, do you think that the difference between them has more to do with the nature of the brain defect in psychopaths, or the nurture of the childhood traumas and abuse of sociopaths? Or four, do you think that there's absolutely no difference between them and the sociopath word shouldn't even exist and it's just primary psychopath and secondary psychopath? Please put your answer 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the comments below because I'm completely lost and I want to know which one you guys think we should move forward with. Please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe. It keeps me going on this road of 30 days. Also put in the comments a few more punishments because I need something else to kick me in the tail and a few more topics to help me get to that 30th day. An absolutely amazing YouTuber named Yelling at Concrete made this awesome remix of a hipster chicken video that I recently did. It's awesome, check it out. And you can watch me get drunk and stupid on hipster chicken as well. Yay! I absolutely love you guys and I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys!